Well, I hope you're staying cool, everybody. We are, because this is episode 401 of Fine Music. And we've got a full cast today. So let's get started with our leadoff man, Fred Whitlock. Take it away, Fred.
The first couple of things I'm going to talk about is some jazz fusion groups. One is a Dutch group, and it's a arranger, producer, and musician, Noam, Noam, Offer, and he calls himself Soul Supreme, and he has a CD out, Poetic Justice. It caught my ear and I really like it. It's electronic keyboards and there's a cello on a couple of cuts, electric guitar, and it's jazz fusion, funk with electronics running through it. He had a 3-year battle trying to get the rights to his music. He was fighting a record company, and this music that he has on this CD reflects that battle. In fact, the last cut on the album is called "I Rest My Case." It's it's a great groove. I really like it. If you like jazz fusion, you'll like that album, Poetic Justice. And then the other group, I guess it was through Poetic Supreme that I found this group, Underground Canopy. They're from France. They have a 2020 album, I believe is their only album. And again, it's jazz fusion with keyboards, trumpets on it, bass, drums, guitar, and a few cuts. Uh, Great soul jazz feel to it. And they formed in 2016, jamming together, five-piece band. They're based in Paris. I would look their music up. Once again, if you like jazz fusion, you'll like the soulful sounds of this group, Underground Canopy. Then, totally different is another group I discovered, Mark and the Clouds. In about a year or so ago, they came out with an album called Waves. This is the first one that caught me. They had 4 albums out now, 4 or 5, and they're on Bandcamp, Spotify, and all the streaming services. You can find their albums. They're a retro psychedelic 60s, 70s group. Uh, they have a little bit of feel of the Moody Blues in some cuts, a trace of the Kinks, the Beatles, the Beach Boys, and even Cream. They're a power
Wow.
trio that on their studio recordings, they add a lot of musicians to come up with a great sound. Their songwriting's strong, so it holds up all the arrangements. This particular album, Waves, starts out with a song called You and Me in Space. And of course, it's got psychedelic guitar work and sounds throughout the whole cut. String of bass and brass are added. They could easily fit into the Paisley Underground of the 80s. And one critic said, you just can't miss this group. Then I found they have a couple of live recordings you can find. One's at Betsy Tarrant, and the other one was called Live at the Half Moon. And that one starts out with a song called Music Disease, which shows you where their heads are at. And the trio adds some keyboards and they just rock out. Uh, their new album that just came out is Machines Can't Hear You. Again, it's classic psychedelic rock. And they have an 11-minute cut on this, The Age of Clowns, which just goes all over the place. And it's delightful. 17 tracks, again, inspired by the 60s, 70s, and Paisley underground sound of the 80s. It's dreamy ballads in with hard rockers and Some of the cuts sound almost like they could fit on a Cream album, Disraeli Gears. Uh, they got that sound, and if you like retro rock and psychedelic sounds, look this group up. Mark and the Clouds.
Got it.
Oh.
I saved it.
Any other commentary?
My mom looked at my copy of Disraeli Gears when I bought it from the Sears store in Compton, and she said, "What's wrong with you?" I hadn't even opened the album yet.
Well, it's the cover, man. The cover.
Yeah, I know.
When you were
All right.
describing Mark in the Clouds, how it has a psychedelic feel, kind of remind me of King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard.
Yeah.
That came to mind.
Yeah.
That came to mind.
Oh yeah, it's a rich genre. It really is.
Yep.
A lot of bands out there on Bandcamp, so the price is right. Yeah. All right. Thank you, Fred. That's 401 in the can.